Yes, this video was clearly designed to make you click on it, and here we are. Here we are. But let's be honest, at least this is not clickbait because this actually is over $100,000 worth of silver, and behind it I have over 100,000 worth of gold, so I can show a real representation of the silver to gold ratio. And we're going to actually talk about the details of why one might choose silver versus gold, or one might choose gold versus silver, and just kind of open some eyeballs if you have excess capital and you're thinking to yourself, I want to get into the silver market and I want to own some physical silver, or why you would own physical silver, or why you would own physical gold. It kind of helps to see it real like this, the actual bars in front of you, and know the exact weights and what you would have to be preparing for if you were to get this kind of silver in your collection. So, in front of me, these are all 100-ounce bars, some of them a little bit over 100-ounce bars. If you know me from my business, mineralexchange.com, obviously you know that I like the vintage stuff. I like the old school silver. This is actually a ridiculously cool 1,040 some odd ounce bar. How many ounces is this one again? 1,037 ounce bar right here from 1935 with a crazy history to it. I like bars with history myself. If you want to check that stuff out, go to mineralexchange.com, check out my website, my auction company, and check out my Instagram at Rob Soltan on Instagram if you want to check out what these bars all look like. We're not going to go over each individual bar, but if you want to see what they look like, go to my Instagram. So these are all 100-ounce bars: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 100-ounce bars. These are 50s here on the far right. These are 50-ounce bars. These are all kilos here. And then this is the 1,030-ounce. Roughly in front of me right now is around 45 to 4,600 ounces of silver. Pretty intense. So let's go over the actual details on exactly how much this would weigh, and kind of go over some stuff I have here on my screen. And then I'm going to pull out the gold to show you just how much gold it takes to get to that same amount of figure, and why one might choose gold instead of silver, and why one might choose silver instead of gold. Let's go over to the screen real quick. Okay, so the price of silver is currently at $22.28. $22.28. So if we pull down the calculator here and we put in some calculations, we'll go to 100,000 real quick, divide it by the 22.27, and that is where you'll get that just under 4,500 troy ounce figure, which in front of me I have somewhere between 4,600 and 4,500 troy ounces of silver. So that's where you get that number from. This is obviously going by troy ounces. Same thing with gold. So with the gold situation, let's find out exactly how much gold that is. Well, actually, the first thing I wanted to talk about, so we have 44, we'll call it 4,500. We'll just round it to 4,500 is the current value, or current amount of ounces for 100,000 worth of silver. Let me move this calculator out of the way, and we'll go to this type of calculator where we go over troy ounces to pounds. So I already have plugged in here 4,600 troy ounces of silver. That is 315 pounds. LBs. So if you're getting into silver and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I want to own 50 grand worth of silver. Hey, I want to own 100,000 worth of silver. Keep in mind, that is how much it's going to weigh. You're not going to be able to exactly throw it into a backpack. You're not even going to be able to put it into a one briefcase and roll that around without the wheels. Maybe you got really sturdy wheels. I've done some crazy road trips in myself, so you might be able to get that done. But realistically, it's a lot of weight. There's been some fun times with me and carry-on bags, let me tell you, where I had to pretend like there wasn't. Anyway, when you're lifting that thing up, trying to get it into you don't want to be over 100 pounds. Just let's put it that way when you're moving around I know that from experience, but hang on, let me grab this mouse. We'll use this 1,000-ounce bar as the mouse pad. That's actually much better. Yeah, much, much better, actually. I was reaching 1,000-ounce mouse pad. Don't see that every day. All right. So I wanted to just basically, first thing I want to talk about is the weight. Now let's go to, obviously, we want to see what the difference is. That's what the title is. We want to talk about the difference between gold and silver. So hang on, let me move this up here. We're going to talk about the gold to silver ratio in a second here as well. But let's go to gold. Gold's price currently is 1772 and change. We'll call it 1772. So let's pull this calculator back down, clear it out, and let's go 100,000. Divide it by 1772. Boom, you have 56 troy ounces of gold, 56.43, so just about 56.5 ounce of gold. So let's show you all exactly the difference between 100,000 worth of silver and 100,000 worth of gold. And then we actually did the calculations here, so in real time. So anyway, let's go back to this screen, and I will show you. So we have a 20-ounce Perth Mint bar. This is 20 ounces of gold here. 20-ounce Perth Mint. We'll put that right there. Boom. Maybe turn it with for a little bit of effect. That was a pretty clickbaity effect right there. Hit a like if it got you, or hit a dislike. Either way, do something. Like, dislike, comment, something. Algorithm, can you see me, algorithm? Anyway, this is a 25.6 troy ounce bar. A lot of you might know this bar if you follow me on Instagram. Again, at Rob Soltan on Instagram. If you follow me there, you will know about this bar. Super, super cool bar. This bar actually was illegal to own it back in 1946 because of the time period. It was after 1933 with the ban on gold. So pretty cool to be able to own what was once an illegal gold bar today. So this is actually 25.6 ounces of gold. Between the two there, you have 45.6 ounces of gold. Now, I've got a 10-ounce. This is actually a vintage Merrill Lynch bar. I like to bring out the cool bars too when we do these videos, but let me give you a little bit of a close-up. Go to my Instagram if you want to see. That camera's having a rough time focusing, but go to my Instagram if you want to see a real close-up picture of this one and all the other bars as well. But this is a actual vintage Merrill Lynch bar from the 70s, if you can believe it. Back when they used to have real money at the banks. Can you believe that? Merrill Lynch actually used to give their clients real money. 10-ounce gold bar. Anyway, put that here. So that right there is 55.6 troy ounces of gold. Now, again, the calculation was 56.43. So just to go back, the exact amount for 100,000. This is also, by the way, we're just doing melt prices right now. We're not talking about premiums. Obviously, there's a bunch of premium to own the physical bars, as you know if you follow my auction house, mineralexchange.com. But basically, we're just going after melt to make. We're just putting it the exact price of the spot price right now, just so that makes the video easy. But obviously there's going to be premiums on physical silver and physical gold like this. But let's go back. We need to put one more ounce of gold. Hang on here. So again, we're at 55 ounces of gold and 56 super cool gold Standard Corp piece. We'll put this right here. And there you have it. That is 56.43 troy ounces of gold versus 100 ounces, $100,000 worth of silver. There you have it. That is basically, how crazy is it that this right here, hang on. Now you can see why people are considering gold more of the money figure and they don't monetize silver the same way. Because that right there is equal value to this right here. Pretty insane. Pretty insane. Obviously, you can easily grab this and put it into your pocket and go wherever you'd like and things like that. So obviously, it's going to be much more portable when you're talking about gold versus silver. It's not even close when you think about the portability of it. Now, the difference is if you have the space and you have the wherewithal to get a TL30 safe and really, do things right, I actually like silver more as an investment. Most people are going to look at gold and go, wow, if I want to store my money in a precious metal, obviously I'm going to want it to be that compact like that. Now, I like gold as well, but the difference is what I'm going to show you here on my screen. This is the difference that is not brought up enough. Oh, I forgot we're using the 1,000 ounce as the mouse pad. Here we go. So this chart right here shows how much silver is being used for industrial purposes. And as you can see, roughly half of the silver in 2022 is being used for industrial purposes. The other part, photography, is it's kind of an industrial purpose as well. So it's a little bit higher than that in my opinion. So it's somewhere around here. Then you got jewelry, silverware, bars and coins, and hedging. And so it's, when you look at gold, for example, gold is about like here. It's about 5-10% is used for an industrial purpose. But when you look at silver, half of it is used for industrial purposes. So what does that mean? Basically, the industries are going to be eating up the supply year over year with silver, and industry needs silver just to be able to make their solar panels and make the products that they need silver to make. To me, that's why I like investing in silver myself, because I know for a fact that they're going to need it in industry. That makes me feel more confident in the future of silver, knowing that the industries are going to be eating up the supply. Now with gold, I think that it's a very big positive that all the BRICS nations and all these other countries have been accumulating gold quite a bit. The central banks around the world have been accumulating it, and I don't see gold ever being demonetized in the near future by these central banks because they have so much of it and they've been spending so much to allocate capital to gold. But at the same time, I like silver due to the industrial aspect of it, and that is basically wildly overlooked, just how much silver is eaten up by industry in comparison, whereas gold, it's eaten up by industry a little bit, but not nearly as much. I would say it's somewhere around 5%. Some figures might be saying a little bit higher than that, but not much higher. So when it comes down to industrial purpose, obviously silver is much, much more used than gold. Yeah, that was one of the big points I wanted to bring up in this video here. But then the problem is when the takeaway that you have is, although you get the big benefit, in my opinion, of being an industrial metal, this is what an industrial metal looks like. So it kind of breaks it down in a real perspective here. If you want to put real money into silver, you want to put over 100 grand into silver, you're going to need, some muscle power and a good, safe, and understand the logistics that goes into something like this. And I hope this video helps you get a little perspective on it. So please do hit the like if it did help you, or hit the dislike if it didn't. Prefer the like though. But let's go back to the screen here. I wanted to show the silver to gold ratio. So the silver to gold ratio currently, the way you get the silver to gold ratio is you divide the amount of silver by the amount of gold. So you divide 1774, look, it went up a little bit as we're making this video, it's jumping up. 1775 divided by 22.36, and that is where you get the silver to gold ratio, which is currently roughly, I believe, 79. 79.54 is where the current silver to gold ratio is. Historically, whenever you see that silver to gold ratio get too high, it tells you to go out of gold and into silver when it gets too high. Like at the beginning of everything, when we did all the shutdowns and everything, the market had the silver to gold ratio at 113 at one point, well over 110, and that tells you, wait a minute, something's got to change. So obviously that was a great trade at the beginning, March of 2020, to go from 113 down to 65 at one point. So you can see that it's actually a very good indicator. When you see the silver to gold ratio go too high, it's a good indicator to be getting into silver and out of gold. So that is basically the silver to gold ratio. And you go into the past, my target is to see it get somewhere like this, like we saw in 2011 when it was 30-1. Now a 30-1 silver to gold ratio would basically mean that this value of this silver here would be about $250,000 plus in today's market. So that is basically where my target is personally. I think it's going to get back to somewhere between a 30-1 and 40-1 ratio. That's what I personally believe. But then again, it's just my opinion. Let me go back here. But hopefully, again, this video brought you some value. Hopefully, you're able to actually see for yourself just how portable gold is in comparison to silver, and just how much you need to prepare if you are going to get this kind of weight in silver. It's certainly quite a bit. When you're talking about the weight, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about it like this, but let's grab 2 of the silver kilos. This is 62 ounces. So actually, this is actually a little bit too much. So maybe I should have grabbed, hang on here, grab one of these 50s here. So this is a 50-ounce silver bar. And basically, you put those side by side. So one, it's just this and this, and you add a little, grab one of those two bars over there. One of those is a 3 ounce and a 4 ounce that we actually have on auction this week on Mineral Exchange. But you add those two to the mix. So we'll grab the 50 ounce here. This is a 4 ounce Engelhard. Well, I'll show you on the website what this is. I'll show you the actual picture of the bar because I can't get it to zoom on this, but I can show you on my screen at least. This is a 3 ounce that we have on the website. And then this is the 4 ounce. So all together right there, that is 57 troy ounces of silver and 56.6 ounces of gold here. And so it puts it into perspective for you that just that in gold is the same amount of all of this in silver. It's kind of crazy how undervalued silver is, because if it gets monetized just a little bit more, like if it just slightly gets monetized, the one thing I would want to bring up too in this video is when you talk about the market cap of gold. The market cap of gold, we just did a video prior to this one, so maybe watch that when this video is over. But we talked about how much gold is in the world and what's the overall market cap of the above ground gold. And it's somewhere between 10 to 11 trillion dollars. Maybe 10 to 12 trillion, depending on whether you're doing US tons or metric tons. Some people are saying that it's metric tons. I might have got that a little bit off on the video, but either way, it's somewhere between 10 and 12 trillion dollars worth of gold out there. And when you talk about silver's market cap, you're talking about slightly over 1 trillion. So it just goes to show you how much room silver can run based on how undervalued it is in comparison to gold, especially when you consider that half of it is for industrial purposes. So to me, it's very interesting just how low of a market cap silver is. So it wouldn't take much to move the needle of silver. So could a silver squeeze happen again in the future? I happen to think so myself. That's just my personal opinion. But let me know what you think in a comment below. Let's get back to the screen over here. So the little 4 ounce silver bar here and the little 3 ounce bar, a lot of people don't know this. So if you're watching this video and you're a silver stacker, the vintage silver is going for big premiums. If you don't believe me, you can go to my auction house, mineralexchange.com. A lot of, so to be fair, some people might think that all of this in front of me, I own all of it. A lot of it is consignments for my auction house, mineralexchange.com. But again, this is the 4 ounce silver bar here. So I could show you what I pulled it up. But bars like this, they're going for huge premiums. Right now, the current bid is at $410. So if you have any the reason why these go for so much money is because the vintage makers, Engelhard specifically, if you know silver, Engelhard is kind of like the name brand. Obviously, the Engelhard stuff is going to be going for a big premium that is not being made anymore. It was made in the 70s and stuff like that. But that is what I specialize in, is more of the rare silver bars. We also have some 100-ounce bars and lower premium stuff as well. And then that's that gold standard coin that I just showed you right here is on the website. So if you see stuff that you like, go to my website, mineralexchange.com. Or if you're trying to do some research, like you're out there treasure hunting like I used to do and going and trying to find this stuff in the wild, the website is a very good resource because I give away all the auction history for free. So if you want to search, basically you can search the entire website by clicking the little search button up there in the top right. And I wanted to make this for free, because when I was searching for in the wild for this stuff to try to basically buy stuff and flip it from other shops and things like that, and going to pawn shops and whatnot and trying to find the rare stuff in the wild, it's still out there. Some people are finding it and they're sending it in to be auctioned. But this tool right here, I wish I had that, because other tools will cost you around $20 a month and they're not as accurate. This shows basically in real time, real comps. So if you're trying to go out there and do the garage sales, the treasure hunting and stuff, there's real money to be found out there. And I wanted to make the website be a real resource for people. So mineralexchange.com, again, totally free to search all auction history on the website. All you got to do is register an account. You just need to put in an email and verify an email. Boom, you get free price history on over 1,000 auctions. It's cut off right there but it actually shows 1,091 auctions we have done on mineralexchange.com. It's pretty crazy that my auction house has now done over 1,000 auctions since dropping. But here we are. Again, if you want to see close-up pictures of any of the stuff that I have, any of the stuff I collect, this bar specifically is an insane bar that I plan to show a picture soon on my Instagram. So shoot me a follow again at Rob Soltan on Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram, that's where I am. I would really appreciate you clicking the follow there. Also, whenever I drop a video, I always put it in the story so you can get an extra notification there, because sometimes YouTube doesn't give you a notification. But that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope it was interesting and provided you some value. See you at the next video. Signing out.